That night blindsided me in ways I never could have prepared for. After 2 decades of marriage, raising 2 wonderful daughters, and believing I had built a life grounded in love and loyalty, the world I thought I knew began to crumble. I had come home ahead of schedule, looking forward to a quiet weekend with my wife, not realizing that everything was about to change. My name is Bill Miller. At the time, I was 47, a senior partner at a well-regarded accounting firm. By most standards, I was living the classic American success story. My wife, Lori, and I had recently marked our 20th wedding anniversary. We'd met during college and married shortly after graduating. Our journey hadn't been perfect, but I believed we had something enduring. We were parents to 2 daughters, Kelly, our college freshman, and Aaron, a senior in high school. The two of them were inseparable, constantly bickering, laughing, and filling our home with life. But things felt different after Kelly left for school about 6 weeks earlier. The silence that settled in didn't just affect the house, it changed Lori. She grew distant, unfocused, like her thoughts were always somewhere else. I chalked it up to the adjustment period and didn't push. I figured some time together might help us reconnect. So that Friday, with Aaron away on a school trip and the house unusually still, I decided on a whim to come home early. I picked up a bottle of wine and planned to cook her favorite dinner. I felt optimistic, maybe even excited, for the first time in a while. But when I pulled into the driveway and saw her car already parked in the garage, a rare thing on a Friday, I felt an odd ripple of confusion. I stepped inside and called out cheerfully, "Honey, I'm home." Her reply was calm, but something about her voice felt restrained. As I walked down the hallway toward our bedroom, unease crept in. There she was, standing before the mirror, carefully applying makeup. She was wearing the elegant black dress I'd given her the Christmas before, along with the pearl necklace I had surprised her with on our last anniversary. An open suitcase, half-packed, rested on the bed. Trying to lighten the mood, I smiled and joked, "Are we going somewhere? I can be ready in 5. But she didn't smile. Didn't even meet my eyes. And then she spoke the sentence that fractured everything. "Bill, I wasn't planning to tell you, but since you're here, you deserve an explanation." Her voice was steady, too steady. She told me she had plans for the weekend. Not an affair, she insisted, just a date. Someone she had met for lunch a few times. She said she needed to feel alive again, to be seen, to feel desirable and young. She promised she'd return by Monday, and that nothing between us had to change. I stood frozen, stunned. "You really think a weekend with another man will fix what's wrong?" I asked, my voice catching in my throat. "It's not about love or anything serious," she replied, almost clinically. "He's married too. It's just something I need, like therapy." I told her I wouldn't try to stop her, but asked that she keep her phone on in case of an emergency. That was all. She agreed, and then asked me not to interfere or ruin it. I promised I wouldn't. Moments later, a rideshare car pulled up outside. She grabbed her bag, walked past me without another word, and left. No goodbye. No glance back. And just like that, she was gone. I didn't yell. I didn't break down. I didn't even cry. Instead, I picked up my phone. There was someone I hadn't spoken to in years, Sarah. We had once shared something gentle and meaningful, though I never let it go anywhere because I had been loyal to Lori. But that night, I scrolled through old contacts until I found her number. When she answered, her voice brought an unexpected calm. We talked for hours. I told her everything, Lori's sudden confession, her escape for the weekend, and how my world had shifted in a matter of minutes. Sarah didn't judge. She just listened. And then she asked, gently, "What do you need right now?" I paused, then said honestly, "I need not to be alone tonight. I need someone to talk to." Without missing a beat, she invited me over. That evening didn't turn romantic. We simply reconnected, talked, let old memories surface, and comforted each other. In that space, I saw what genuine care felt like. I recognized what I had been missing in my marriage for so long. Lori returned on Sunday evening, cheerful and glowing. "See," she said with a casual smile. "Nothing's changed." But everything had. I looked at her and didn't feel rage, just clarity. That weekend had opened my eyes. Calmly, I said, "We're done. I'm not angry. And maybe someday I'll forgive you. But I can't do this anymore. Tomorrow, I'm filing for divorce. Her expression shifted instantly, calm turned to panic, but my heart had already let go. There was no undoing what had been revealed. We parted respectfully. I made sure our daughters knew the truth gently, without poisoning their view of their mother. I told them to love her still, even if she'd made a devastating mistake. Over time, they adjusted. We all did. Sarah and I slowly rediscovered something rare and honest. What began as friendship blossomed into something deeper. A few years later, we married. We created a loving, trusting home. We had 2 beautiful children together, and I gladly became a father to Sarah's son, Jacob. That weekend, one that should have broken me, became the start of something better. Lori lost a man who would have stood by her for life. But I found the person I was always meant to share mine with. Sometimes, it takes the most painful heartbreak to uncover the road to real happiness.